Day 28 of 100 Days of Code as I'm learning the Python programming language. This video is to track my progress and to hold myself accountable. In a previous video, I went over operations as far as slicing when you're accessing a list. In this video, I will do a little bit more advanced slicing operations on list, and it will entail stepping through a list to access elements. I'm going to start by pasting in my new threads list, and then I'll print this list out. And you can see we have our list here. So to access a list while stepping through, what you would do is you go ahead and indicate your list name. So new threads list. We're still using our square brackets. And then you would specify the starting index, the ending index, and the step through size. I'm indicating here that the starting index will be from the beginning by omitting that first index value. The second one will be to the end of the list by omitting the second index value. And I'm going to step through this list by one. So I'll wrap this in a print function. When we execute this, we can see that we're just listing it out, stepping through by one. Now, if I wanted to step through this list by two, I could change that to two. And this is going to access, starting with the first element, every other one, every other element. So fishing, C2, script execution. And you can see how it accesses those elements. If I wanted to go backwards to step through, I would use the negative value. When I run this, you can see we start at the end, hacking tool, and we step backwards to each element. You can also indicate a range and step backwards in it. So let's say my starting position will be -4. So that's going to be the fourth from the last element. And we'll say it'll be to the first element, excluding it. And it's going to step backwards by one. So if I print this out, you can see that it starts at element position 4, which is C2, and it steps backwards by one to beacon, but it does not include fishing because remember, we always exclude this last index value. I can also do the same, specifying a range and stepping forward. So if I wanted my starting index to be the first position, and let's say I wanted to go to position index 4, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 script execution, but it does not include script execution. And let's say I want to step through by one. You can see it's fishing, beacon, C2, insider, but does not include the last two elements. If I wanted to step through by two, and let's leave this one blank because I want to start at the starting index and go all the way through our list. Stepping through by two. Fishing, it jumps over beacon. C2, it lists that, jumps over insider, and lists script execution. Now, lastly, sometimes you can see something that looks like it's accessing a list and stepping through. And let me give you an example. So we have 6 elements. I'm going to indicate 6 here. I'm going to put a -1 here, which will be the last position. It may look something like this and include a assignment operator. So let's say malware and well, I'm just throwing 2 in there. What this is actually going to do is it's going to assign these elements inside our list. So this will take the 6th index, which will be the last position, and this whaling will take the -1, which remember -1 moves backwards in our list. So this is going to take the final position in our list. So if I print the new threats list, you can see we have our pre-existing list, and we have malware and whaling added to the end of our list. So again, sometimes you may see something that appears to look like a slicing operation, but it's actually reassigning the indicated elements to the list.